Hey guys, Shanice here, and in this video, I'm going to share 10 questions to ask your patients for a testimonial video with a free downloadable template. Preparing questions to ask your patients for their testimonial video can be very useful, especially when they have no idea what to say or where to begin. In this video, I'm going to share 10 strategic questions to ask your patients and give a free downloadable cheat sheet so that you'll know how to direct your patients on the day of your video shoot and even customize your questions for a more powerful and effective patient testimonial video. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to the Visual Vibe Studios YouTube channel and hit the notification bell to receive an alert every time we share new content just like this. Quick disclaimer, remember to collect the required HIPAA-compliant documents signed by your patient before they share their experience or submit their before and after results to be shown on camera. Okay, so let's break down the story arc of your testimonial video to help set the framework for your questions. This helps so that you're not just randomly asking questions, but instead you'll have an outline to navigate your patients towards making specific responses that keep them on track with the overall theme of your patient testimonial video. So here's an effective outline for the story arc of your patient testimonial video. The first thing you want to do is address the patient's initial problem, then highlight why they chose you. Then identify the solution, whether that's you or your business. Then you want to identify how you've helped them overcome it and establish why they'd recommend you to others. So the purpose of creating a story arc is not just because expert filmmakers do it, but because it actually works. Just think of any show or movie you've watched straight through until the end. They all have a story arc. And by having a story arc as the backbone of your testimonial video, you'll captivate your audience, bring strategy to your process, and structure to your video. Okay, so how to use a story arc in a patient testimonial video that's just based on someone sharing their experience? It's simple. The questions you ask will frame the direction of the patient's testimonial story. But first, I want you to grab our free downloadable template to follow along. I've linked to it in the description below. Okay, so the first patient testimonial video question would be, what was your initial problem? This first question follows our story arc structure by literally asking the patient what their problem was before coming to you. This patient testimonial question also serves as a hook used to grab someone's attention, especially if it's another potential patient who's currently experiencing a similar problem. The patient may respond with something like this. For the last 5 years, I've experienced terrible pain in my pelvic area and have trouble with urine leakage. After searching online for hours, I stumbled upon your company's website where a pelvic floor therapy specialist reached out to me, and you get the idea. So your patient's response here will set the tone for what is to come. Also known as the part in the patient testimonial video where your company swoops in and saves the day with an awesome patient outcome that totally transforms their life and eliminates their problem. Okay, so here's question number 2. What did this blank problem prevent you from doing? One purpose for asking this question is to add extra fluff content, which will help you later on if you decide to have a long and short version of the patient testimonial video. The second reason we ask this question is to make the patient's outcome more jarring by repeating the problem response in a different way. We are emphasizing the transformation even more. Typically, we'd recommend asking the patient to use an example here or add a mini story. Here's an example of what a patient could say here. I used to be able to go on stage and perform or act out my scenes on camera quite comfortably, but severe acne has made me feel so self-conscious of my face. I even considered a different career path because of it. Patient testimonial video question number 3. What treatment or procedure did you do? Here's where we get into the why they chose you part of our story arc. The goal here is to get your patient to expand on the service or product that they purchased from you so that your viewers know what to request in the event that they decide to call in and get the same product or service for themselves. This question should also be used to let your patients know why your patient chose you specifically. A good follow-up question here would be, why did you come to this business to have this specific treatment or procedure done? Okay, question number 4. Why did you decide to get it done here? This response usually contains all of the best sound bites, in my opinion. This is where your patient states all the reasons he or she decided to purchase these services from you, despite it being available elsewhere. They might say things like, they were very responsive to my concerns when I called, and I felt like the doctor really understood my challenges and was very knowledgeable about the procedure. Now, you can't tell your patients what to say, of course, but this question does have a way of organically getting a nice response to roll off their tongues anyway. Question number 5. What was your main concern about getting it done? If you'd like to add a bit more content to lengthen your video, I'd recommend using this question to expand on the patient's initial problem and transition into answering how those concerns were addressed specifically when they came to you. Question number 6. How did you feel about yourself afterwards? This is the moment we've all been waiting for in the video. This is where you announce the outcome. How does your patient feel now that you've helped them? What has changed? How have you improved their lifestyle? Feel free to record multiple takes of this response so that you have plenty of sound bites to work with. The goal here is to leave with a solid patient transformation story. I personally like to recommend to my clients and my students to use all of these responses as a personal critique for their work and enhance their patient experience. The answer to these questions can help you improve your technique, your customer service, and so much more. Okay, question number 7. What has this treatment or procedure now allowed you to do? This question pretty much expands on how you've helped the patient overcome their initial problem. I'd recommend adding this response to the final cut of your video because you want to emphasize the transformation by using more sound bites that address it. Pro tip: your patient's transformation and positive experience should hold more weight than their initial problem in your final video edit. If you need help with strategic video editing, you can always hire one of our video experts at visualvibestudios.com. Okay. Question number 8. What advice would you give other patients in a similar situation to you? The goal here is to direct your patients towards telling others why they should reach out to you if they want to experience similar results. If your audience finds this patient testimonial video relatable, they will want to know the answer to this question, even though your patient is not an expert at what you do. They want to hear your patient's opinion because they can relate to them and what they're going through. In a perfect dilemma, your patient may respond here by saying something like, if you're like me, just call Dr. Blank. She's the best, and she knows how to break down complex procedures in a very simplified way. Question number 9. Would you recommend us to your friends? If so, why? I love this question, even though it's very similar to the previous one, but it also gives you insight into which patients in your database would be willing to give you a referral. Word of mouth marketing is the most effective form of marketing in our industry. There is nothing more valuable than a happy patient who's willing to tell others about their experience with you. This question gets them started with a pre-recorded referral and also shows you what a patient referral might look like if they actually did it. And that to me is just valuable insight. Okay, question number 10, wrapping up here. The final question is there anything else you'd like to add? This question, as you'd imagine, is to follow up with a response of their own. We ask this question last because most patients show up to the video shoot without any idea of what they'd like to say. But by asking this towards the end, they've already been talking and feel more inclined and confident to share something of their own at this point. I personally love asking patients this mystery question because you can never predict what they'll say, and sometimes their response ends up being so good that it outweighs the rest. People love sharing their opinions, and this final question gives your patients a chance to speak freely from the heart. I hope you found these patient testimonial video questions helpful and have downloaded our free template. If you need help with video production, marketing, or video planning, you can always reach out to our marketing team at visualvibestudios.com. We definitely love to help. Again, thanks for watching, and if you found this video helpful, please subscribe to the channel and let me know in the comments what you found most valuable, or if you'd like to check out our marketing agency or our online learning programs. I've linked to both websites in the description below.